started. That, yes. Alrighty, getting this face done here. That. There we go. Like that. And this will actually travel around to her bandana. She has a bandana on. Like that, with a little bell. Okay. Let's get some ears on her. Right here. Like that. Let's get the other ear. She's got a nice head tilt here. The other ear matches up about here with her eye. And goes this way. Like this. More rounded at the top though. Like that. Alrighty, and then we have her shoulders here. I go down to her paws. Oh, hello, Mouse, or Moose's mom. I always want to say mouse, but then I remember, no, it is moose. Chest here. Down to her very polite Pete's. And then it's like right here it comes out. Like that. I'll come back to. So this is Esther. Hold on, I'm going to move you guys. This kitty here. That is who I am drawing. I'm making a series of cats of social media. And today it is Esther's turn. I drew her sibling Scott the other day. I think, what was it, Saturday I drew him? I mean, I do remember when I was little drawing, it was on like rainbow paper, creating this story about this cat with a bell. I don't know where it went, but it was more when I got to middle school that I really started getting more into art. And I got into an art class. don't think we're going to be able to fit all of her paw there, but that's okay. Like that. So there's Esther. Oh, and then her tail sticking out over here. And I'm actually going to curl it up. I can't see the tip of her tail in the picture, but that's what I'm going to do with it. And then the wall, we're going to have the wall end here behind her. Sorry, I don't know why I suddenly got a cough again. All right, now we're going to give her an outlining before we start adding our pointillism dots. So let's go and do her nose here. I always start with the nose when I do animals, always. When I do people, I start with the eyes. But when I do animals, I start with the nose. She's got a bit of a smile that I didn't get with the pencil. There we go. Get this eye here. And this pupil actually comes like this. Actually, if I look at the picture. Did Kate and Echo? No, they did not ever. Last I checked before I started the video, our air quality was down to like 72. But if it's more than 50, I really don't like them going out. I started that when I had Sammy because he had bad allergies to just like everything in the world. He had to take Zyrtec daily. And with Kated being epileptic, I'd rather not find out if that would trigger a seizure. So I told him they had to be indoor kitties today. Kated did try to entertain him with a couple of tussle sessions, and he would play with her for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and he's like, sisters, go away. So he has been a very not content man today. But since we went from 303 this morning down to 72 now, I'm thinking by the time we get up in the morning, it should be down enough that he can go out in the morning while I'm getting ready for my run. And after he eats his breakfast. Oh, I'm really liking how this is turning out, you guys. I just need to kind of... Here, I'm going to turn her upside down so I can get the top of the head here, and then it kind of curves down like this. Ooh, yeah, I got that real good, you guys. Not to, not be humble, but sometimes cats, when they have an interesting tilt to their head, it can make it more difficult to get the proportions correct. But she's turning out real fine. All right, and she's got her bandana here, which I'm going to have fun with. And then she's got a little bell here, like that. So I'm assuming the bandana's on the collar, but we can't see the rest of the collar from her fur. Hello, Lord X Rants. All right, let's go down to her foot here. And then, hello, Echo. Do you guys want to see them? Where'd they go? Kated. Come here, Kated. Do you want to come say hello to all your fans? She says, hold on. Let me move these papers that are in your way. Huh? Oops, I just stuck my thumb in my water cup. Echo was in here, but I don't know where he went. Oh, she's gonna sniff you. Like he did. Just don't knock over my water, okay? Sometimes she gets notions. Where sometimes she wants to drink from my water. Sometimes she wants to push my water cup. Girl, I can't draw now. She has no concept of being underfoot or in the way because, you know, she's blind, vision impaired. She does have a tiny bit of vision in her left eye, but can I have this? Can I have this? Thank you. Oh, the sticker says your favorite texture, yarn. But I guess I am kind of specific about what yarn I like. All right, and then there's her, like that. Hello, Katydid. Echo will come back. Hey, don't smack me in the face with your tail. She just looked like a twitch and double slapped me. Girl. Are you trying to figure out how to get back down? Hold on, let me put her down. There you go. Oh, not pencil. We want this. Oh, cats. So this, I did my counting this morning, and this will be cat number 14 for the series that I've got going. And I'm hoping to have 50 cats when I rent the gallery. Oh, thank you. I do. I tell her all the time, you're so pretty. And she's quite vain for a blind cat. When she goes to get her blood drawn at the neurologist, she has to do that every 6 months, get blood work. They always tell me she doesn't like bite or hiss or fight like all the other cats. She just requires a tech specifically come over and stroke her and tell her, you're so pretty. You're such a good girl. So pretty. And then she'll behave if someone like strokes her ego. And I'm like, okay. They're like, we'll take it. We have a tech that will just come over and tell your cat how pretty she is. Go for it. She's very vain for a blind cat. All right, let's give it a bit of erasing. Now, she is kind of looks like a torty, tabby, what is it called, a tabico? Because she's got brown and ginger and the cinnamon stripe. So I don't know if I'll get her done today in this video because at 6 o'clock I have to give Katyd her medication and her dinner. But she is, Katyd is very confident. Like when the fireworks were going off last night, didn't bother her a lick. She also likes it on Mondays when they do lawn work in my complex. Because the catio has diamond lattice fencing. And she'll stick her snoot through the diamond to get blasted with grass bits as the weed whackers and the riding lawnmowers go by. Whereas Echo thinks those are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. They have come. Run for your life, take cover. And it stresses him out that she likes to go out there and get blasted by the demons. She has not a lick of self-preservation or stranger danger. She's very confident and just struts her stuff. All right. Now, oh boy. Let's go with the ginger and the light tan first. So we're going to go with, hold on, let me test these two for sure. Definitely going to use this one. Definitely going to use this one. Her eyes are kind of goldeny, though. Not really green. They've got a titch of green, but they've got some golden. So we might need to combine these. A tiny frog. I've never added a tiny frog before. And her nose is more this color. And we'll need this color. Alright, so I'm using the Tombow dual brush markers. We're not going to be using the brush side, except on our test papers. Otherwise, I use the fine tip point. But let's test real quick for her eyes, because I do like to get eyes and nose filled in first when I do a cat. So, test paper. What does it look like if we go with this one and then stipple the green on top? Okay, now what if we do the reverse? Sometimes if you reverse it, you get the better color combo you're looking for. I think we're going to go with this one. So generally, I would tell you what color this one is for eyeballs, but my cat eyes, I've rubbed it in and out of my case so much, I don't know what number it is. I probably have a spare somewhere in here. I know I do because I bought more of it. But I don't know what number it is. All right. So for anybody who has not joined me before, when I do my art, when I add color, I tap, tap, tap a little purple frog. I could add little purple frog on her bandana, because I'm not really sure what the design, it kind of looks like a Japanese, like shrine kimono type. It reminds me of my Japanese kimonos on her bandana. But I like the idea of doing purple frogs. Because before I do something strange in the background, I usually double check with the owner of the cat. And the owner of Esther has lost power due to the storm a few days ago. And so they're not... Yes, a purple frog kimono. I like that idea. So she is not able to join us, so I don't want to choose something for the background that she'd be like, why does Esther have a purple frog with her when that's obviously not in the photo? I mean, most people have told me, yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want, creative license. But I do like to, one more layer of green. It'll get us that nice green gold she has in the photo. There we go, okay. Put the gold away, that goes back in the box. Green goes in my travel case, because I use that for my book I'm illustrating right now a lot. Now, pupils. Pupil is always pure black. It's the only place I use pure black. Everywhere else, pure black for, I don't know why Scribble Stars wants a frog. But I do kind of like the idea of a purple frog on the bandana. I don't think it will hurt all dem cats. That's the username for the mom of Esther. I'm assuming it's a mom. It might be a dad, actually. The human for Esther. I'm assuming that they wouldn't mind if I changed the bandana. I didn't actually ask, but I'm assuming they're going to be okay. Okay, but with Tombow, pure black is N15, and for the rest of the cat, I usually use N25, which, if you guys look, there's only a slight difference. You can tell this is like just a titch gray, but on here it looks black, but near, like not black like this one. So it's very nice if you have like a black cat and you need variations. All right, so I'll keep that one out. Next, we need to do her nose. So her nose, sometimes what they look like this one looks lighter, but, ooh, that one looks like her nose. But let's test this one real quick. Her nose is kind of both. This is annoying. Tabbies are not annoying. Tabbies are just a lot of work because of all of the little speckles of different colors they have in their coat. I like Perry the Platypus. Doobie doobie doo-ba doobie doobie doo-ba Perry. I dressed up as him for a couple of holidays. I have a onesie of Perry the Platypus. It's a platypus. Perry the Platypus. That's what Doofenshmirtz always would say. All right, and then she has some very light. Okay, back to Perry Platypus is from a cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. They have a pet platypus that's like a turquoise platypus, but he actually is secretly a secret agent, and he has a nemesis, Dr. Doofenshmirtz. So every day while the kids are building their inventions and driving their sister nuts, he sneaks off and stops Dr. Doofenshmirtz from destroying the city. Yeah, it is a TV show. It was on Disney Channel. It's not on anymore. I think it only, what do they have? 4 seasons is what Disney does, and then they can't cut a show. But yeah, it's a really fun cartoon. So it's during summer vacation. The 2 boys are stepbrothers. And what are they? Well, Phineas and Ferb. That's why it's called Phineas and Ferb. Duh. I don't know why I'm like, what are they named again? Candace is the sister. The mom always has to go out on some errands, and she so desperately wants to, like, catch them in the act and have their mom be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? But she's always too late. Usually whatever Dr. Doofenshmirtz was up to, when Perry thwarts him, it ends up like making whatever the boys made disappear or get destroyed, and there's no evidence. And so the mom like thinks the sister's nuts. And the city is safe. It's a good show. It's a good cartoon. Make faces in the mirror. Oh, sorry, that was a sticker. The stickers always want to ask us weird things. I mean, no, I don't make faces in the mirror. I'll be honest, I don't really look in the mirror much. Because I'm bald, so I just kind of do my head a quick shave, feel my head. Is it all gone? Cool. No stubble? Cool. Off we go. I don't do makeup. So there is no need for me to... I mean, I have a mirror in the bathroom, obviously. Bathrooms in America, instead of talking about... I mean, that's usually what happens. When I'm drawing, people ask me questions because I'm a teacher. They'll ask me questions, and it'll devolve into things about that I've experienced at school as a teacher, weird things my students have done, things the cats are doing. One time we had a whole conversation about Therians and furry costumes and cosplay. So, I mean, whatever gets brought up, in my opinion. I'm not going to be like, no, we can't talk about that, you guys. I mean, there are some topics I'd be like, yeah, we're not talking about that. But as long as we keep it like, because I do use my YouTube channel with my students. Sometimes I have videos to show them how to do certain projects. So they're always like, I'm going to look up your YouTube. So I'd rather not talk about topics that are going to like traumatize my littles. All right, we're going to stop for there with what's the weirdest thing one of your students has done? Ooh, I still think licking the blue paint on the table was interesting. Han was a kindergartner though, so I don't know if that counts. They just, oh, okay, here's a good one. My student teacher actually got this one. So we were drawing self-portraits of ourselves standing tall, like the portrait of Frida Kahlo holding a letter to her friend Leon. And student teacher walked over and it's like, oh, you did a good job. You drew yourself as a grown-up. And the kid goes, yeah. And those are my boobies. And we're like, okay. And, okay. So that in 1 year, my student teacher was teaching them how to draw a nose like this. I think she meant to draw it like this. But most kids were drawing it like this. So it looked like they either had a scrotum or boobs on the middle of their face. And so I had to tell my student teacher, in elementary, we do the letter J and parentheses. That's a nose. We do not do L's. We don't have bird beaks. And we don't do triangles. We do a letter J and actually it's a backwards letter. Is it a backwards letter J? By golly, it is I've been drawing my letter J's backwards this whole time during the demo. I wonder if any of the kindergartners now draw their J's backwards because of that. But yeah. Yeah, not all teachers are created equal. There are some that are there. You can always tell when a teacher's quite seasoned. Like, they need to be taken off the grill, they're done. Because they get to a point where they just don't enjoy being around children very much. And they just need to be done. My first year, my mentor who was because I teach at 2 schools. So one day I was at one school, 4 days I was at my other school. And there were just some kids that annoyed her. And this is kind of almost too gingery. And if they annoyed her, she would make them go stand in the corner on Hello, Chandler Pruitt. Oh, that's way too orange. Yeah, she would make them go stand in a corner on she had like those welcome mats or whatever you put. Hello, Marshall stands. Now we're going to have to go with this. These are all just too orangey. We'll add some tan to soften that. But I'd be like, so why are you making them go? It's like Little House on the Prairie time when she would send Willie to go stand in the corner, like, and wear a dunce hat. I'm like, Mary, you can't do that. She's like, they're annoying me. I'm like, what they do? The kid would look at me like in mouth, what did I do? I'm like, I don't know. Did you breathe too heavily next to her? I don't know what you did. And she was ready to be retired. She did retire after that year. She just stick a fork in her. She was done with teaching. She didn't need to be around the kids anymore. And we all, unfortunately, basically all teachers get to that point where the passion for being around children is gone. So some of the kids, especially that second grade class, because I was on plan time. So a lot of times I was sitting in the desk in the back of the room, like doing grading and stuff. Yes. And she did, this room is like a weird trapezoid, hexagonal, quadrilateral shape. So there's like 7 different corners. And she utilized all 7. So if I was sitting back here and she was circling around, especially when they were doing weaving, they would, like, when she wasn't looking, sneak back and ask me to help. And they're like, she's on plan, don't talk to her. I'm like, they can ask me. And there were a couple of them, because when we do it, we wrap a piece of cardboard around and around and around, so they have all these strings that go over, under, over, under. I wrap my cardboards in 2 different colors, so it's like over the red, under the blue. Over the red, under the blue. She's like, it takes too much work to warp them in 2 different colors. True, it takes more time. But more kids grasp the concept if their loom is in 2 different colors. So there were a couple kids, I took their loom apart, rewarped it without her looking. And then they started to get it better. And then when the new teacher took over, Will, he's like, why do we have all of these rugs? And I'm like, so let me tell you what these were used for. He tossed them. He's like, that's got to be like a traumatic memory for these kids. I'm not keeping those around. And I'm like, good on you. He's a really good guy. He's been there for 8 years now, and they drive him nuts. But we also need more men teachers. Okay, I'm just going to put a smattering now around the rest, because the rest is the tabby, but there's a smattering of orange, so I just kind of want that in the background as I layer now. So yeah, I've never made kids go sit or stand in the corner. I usually have calm down spaces, and one teacher gave me the idea of naming them islands. So instead of telling them to go to the calm down corner, tell them, go on to go sit in Japan. Yeah, it doesn't. And so why don't you go sit in Australia? And at those island desks, I have all the same art supplies they would be using in their class space, some calm down tools, and usually they just go to an island that's farthest away from their minions, or if they're a minion, from their leader. Now she looks like she got chicken pox. So that they can decompress and I can put out the fire. But her tail's dark, so we're not gonna, yeah. So, but I actually don't hardly ever have to use my islands. So, yeah, polka dots. Yep, now we're just gonna keep layering in dots to get all the tabby colors in her coat. We're gonna go from lightest to tans to the darker medium to dark browns. Yes, this is called pointillism. Some people call it stippling, but I call it pointillism because that's what it was called when, what's his name? George Seurat kind of invented it. But he did it with paint. So we do like little dabby brush strokes. Kind of like the way Impressionism is, actually. My teachers. Yeah. I actually need a bit of orange speckled here. I tried just to comment like, hey, did you get a new hairstyle? That looks cool. But I don't really talk much about their hair because, like I said, I'm bald, so I don't really have any room to talk when it comes to hair. So sometimes I'll wear a wig, and it kind of freaks the kids out because they're like, art teachers aren't supposed to have hair. Art teachers are supposed to be bald, because that's all a lot of them have experienced is a bald art teacher if they've only been at my schools with me. Now, I will say there are a few times, confession, I've had, usually they're boys, sometimes they're girls, where they just have to be the center of attention and not in a good way. They have to distract everybody from learning because, well, I don't want to be in art and I don't like art, so I'm going to ruin art for everybody so we don't get any class points for our prize day. And everything I say is going to be inappropriate or sexual. And obviously, all the girls want me. I'm such a sex god. And it's just frankly disgusting and annoying. And, you know, I'm with these kids for 6 years, K-5. Now, granted, that behavior usually starts in 4th grade, so it's 4th and 5th grade I have to deal with it. And eventually, I'm done with it. And so I will start clapping back at them. School appropriate, but I will clap back at them. Just to kind of put them in their place, to shut them up. You are not funny. Obviously, no one's laughing. The only people that are laughing are like the guys that think you're the coolest thing ever. So like, are you trying to attract are you actually into Christopher? Is that who you want to date? Because obviously it's not working on any of the girls. None of the girls think it's impressive. Oh, the girls thought that was funny when I implied that he was trying to impress Christopher to get him to go on a date. He's like, I don't like guys. Well, the girls are like, well, you're not attractive to any of us. I'm like, thank you for joining the conversation. I appreciate that. Because yeah, generally don't comment on their looks unless, like, I would say, like, hey, you got new glasses. Those look really cool. Or, hey, I like your shoes. They really like it, especially the boys. People to compliment their shoes. Some of them are really into their shoes. That and the kindergartners like to tell you the whole backstory of a certain pair of shoes or a certain barrette. And a lot of times when they come to class, if one of them says, I like your dress, now all 25 of them have to say, I like it too, I like it too, I like it too, I like it too. It's a nice dress, it's a pretty dress. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now go into class, we're going to start teaching now. I get it, you like my dress. Yeah, I mean, my mom was plenty good at telling me I look ridiculous. She never liked when I cut my hair short. She'd say, you look like a boy. And then for a while I was dyeing my hair blue. But then as the blue ink would fade from my hair, it would turn silver. So my dad would be like, you look like an old person, knock it off. Oh, he hated it. They hated my hair. They hated, and then when they let me one time go glasses shopping alone. And they're all like, you need to have like grown-up glasses. And, well, the problem with the grown-up glasses is this piece is too long on adult glasses. It goes, like my ears here, and they go here, so every time I look down, they droop. I have to shop in, like, the 11 to 13-year-old glasses, which means I get the cute, colorful glasses like a lot of my students would wear. And so I came home with, you know, cute, colorful glasses, and like, what is on your face? Can you just, like, stop judging my face, please, people? So, yeah. So, yeah, but now my parents have accepted that I'm bald. They did try to get me to wear a wig for my brother's wedding. Because it's just not going to look right in the photos if you don't have hair. But thankfully, Zoe, she was like, you know, you do you. I want you to be you at my wedding. And if that means you need to wear tennis shoes, because I've had a lot of injuries to my feet being a runner, then you wear tennis shoes. Just make sure they're black. Because I also have really cute, like, Squishmallow, the Calico shoes. My students love those, too. Yeah, she kind of was like, what are you doing to me? So, yeah, I did go. I went bald. I did find a nice pair of basic black sandals to wear that didn't aggravate any old injuries, so... Oh, welcome back, Shy Demon. Not having hair is not feminine. Because, like, I also want to have a mastectomy. And she's like, you're not transgender. Not that, she's like, I'm not against trans people. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But I'm so over all of the femaleness. Like, if you're not going to have a partner, then what's the point? You're not having kids. What's the point of all of it? Oh, the dryer finally stopped. Now it feels very quiet in here. So she's just very much into, you need to wear dresses. Like, I couldn't do ROTC when I was in high school because only boys are allowed to do ROTC. And my brother was discouraged from taking art classes because art is for girls. That's why your sister's in it. You need to go do ROTC. And he had to have like a military buzz cut his entire life. She would take him to the barbershop on base. And, and he had a military buzz cut essentially his entire life. So now it's funny. Her daughter has no hair. And her son has a mane with a beard. He has all the hair. I have no hair. And it took her the longest time to accept that he had a beard. I can't see your face, and your face is so handsome. Why are you hiding your face from me? It's not about you, Mother. It's not about you. So yeah, but she has accepted, you know, he does keep it very well groomed. He's not like a slobby caveman with his beard. He keeps his mane. Well, and his wife is actually a hairdresser. So he won't let her touch the beard. But she keeps his head very well maintained. And yeah. So it is what it is. I am bald. I love being bald. I haven't shaved yet today, though, because my routine was thrown off by the lack of being able to go outside, with the air quality being so bad. So I've just kind of been a couch potato all day. Yeah, I so badly wanted to be an ROTC, but, you know, it never happened. So do this back leg. There we go. My apartment complex does have a small gym, kind of like what a basic hotel would have, but it's in the main office area. So you can only use it during office hours, and they're not open on the weekends. I keep forgetting it's not Monday. I do have a small treadmill in my apartment, but the treadmill really annoys me because, like, you're not going anywhere. I'm good for like 5 minutes, and then I get very bored. Sometimes in the winter when the weather's really bad and I can't run outside, I will do intervals where I'll put on a show like Survivor. And during the show, I power walk or slow jog. And then during the commercial break, I book it. I sprint really hard. I did think about joining the Air Force. My dad's in the Air Force, but he didn't really want that for me. And there aren't any jobs in the Air Force that are really art-based. And I really want to do something art-based. And I really also love teaching children. So I considered it. I did have a job as a civilian on base I had 2 different jobs for, I think, like 10, 12 years. I worked as a civilian until I got hired full-time as a teacher. But I think I don't think I could read and run on the treadmill. I think I do audiobooks on the treadmill sometimes. But I can really only focus if I've got like that where I can see the countdown from Hulu or for my all-out sprint, and then I can watch the show, and that kind of distracts me while I'm speed walking, slow jogging. But even sometimes even that, I'm like, okay, I'm halfway through the episode, and I am done. Mentally, not physically, but mentally, I'm done. It's a mental block when I'm on the treadmill. Okay. Not really. At least not Air Force-wise. I did look into it, and I even talked to some recruiters. And it kind of explained and they were like, yeah, no, not really. Maybe if I was like an officer, I could do some like where I design airplanes, come up with like the drawings. But a lot of that's probably done digitally now. And, like, I'm not against digital art, but I'm also not really a fan of digital art. For myself personally, I just don't really enjoy it. Is this one of the same as these? 977. It is. I always keep grabbing 977 thinking, I need to use that one. I already have 977 out. So there probably are art-based jobs in maybe other branches. Water. But There might be. I do know, like, when I was in elementary school, we lived on a base where the kids had to go to a school on the base because the nearest school was too far away. But I think those were civilians that had base access to come teach every day, and they couldn't, like, use the commissary or whatever. But the base I live by here, because I am by an Air Force base because my dad still works there, its schools are all off base. I don't think there are any elementary anymore, but there are, like, military housing schools, but they're with the military housing that's off base. So they're part of the city it's in school district. And I don't want to teach in that district because they have a very poor art curriculum. Yeah, see, that's another thing. I teach art. So, like, when I was in elementary school on that base where we lived, there was, I remember a trailer would mysteriously appear behind the school, and it was always, like, kind of dark in there, and it was small and kind of crowded and filled with Native American objects in every nook and cranny. It was kind of spooky, kind of mysterious, fascinating. And a lot of times Native American artists would come and, like, put on displays and show us different things about their culture. But it was only, like, maybe once a month, if that, we got art. Unless the teacher decided to do some silly little craft. So there wasn't really art for me K4. And then I think I got it once a month for sure when I was in 5-6 when we moved to the state. But it wasn't until middle school I actually got to have an art class. So whereas the district I teach in, which is right next door to the district I went to school in, the kids get it every week for 50 minutes. And we have a very robust art curriculum. Yeah, I'm liking how this lays. See, I love how tabbies look once you get done with all the layering. It's just going through all the layering. I think this one's starting to run out of ink. It's a good thing I've got another one. That's okay. So yeah, I think all schools should have art at least once a month. But you know, what do I know? I'm only a lowly little elementary art teacher. What do I know? Better if they have it every week. Same with PE. They need to have PE every week. See, and when I was in school, we ate, and then as soon as you were done eating, you got to just go outside and play. And so I think there was like a 30 to 45 minute block. I know in North Dakota, we got like a 20-minute eating, 20-minute recess or something like that. Now, granted, when you ate, it was silent lunch, basically. We took books with us, because this was on a military base. And once you were done eating, you were supposed to you could quietly whisper talk or read. It could not get loud. If you got loud, you weren't, like, you lost recess. That was on a military base, so it was a different culture. But we had a long recess. And even North Dakota, if it wasn't an active blizzard, we had outdoor recess. Indoor recess was only for, like, the littles, the K1. Otherwise, by the time you got to second grade, it's like, suck it up, put a hair on your chest, child, get out there. Bundle up. And they would plow the blacktop. So there was this giant mountain range of snow by the blacktop. And the teachers are like, as long as you don't die inside of it. And so we would crawl and play and tunnel through the giant mountain range of snow. Whereas my district, that's the one thing I don't like. They get 10 minutes of recess with lunch and then 10 to 15 minutes at some other time, and it's scheduled, and only one class can be on the playground at a time. Otherwise, it's a safety hazard and there's fights. Whereas when I went to school, there was like the entire grade level was on the playground at a time. The playgrounds were, more spacious, but I don't know. I don't know. I think after this layer, we'll start adding some striping. This might be our last layer for the tans and the browns. We're actually making quite good progress. I mean, I only have 20 minutes left, but I think we're not going to get the background done, but I should be able to get her stripes and the bandana done. I think I might make it a bright green bandana with the purple frog. And then I might just do my usual like blue grayish steel color for the wall. And then I'll see if she has anything she wants to do for... Oh, she liked green and purple. Oh, she does like green and purple. She told me that last time when I did Scott, because those are the colors I used for the background. So I think she'll like the green and purple for the bandana. Then I'll try and do another one of Esther's siblings, because there's 4 of them, tomorrow. I know one of them's all black. I can't remember what the other 4th one is, because Scott is black and white, Esther's a tabby. Then there's a black cat, and there's another one, but I don't remember what it is. Maybe it's another black and white. Oh, she has 5 total. Well, I mean, Blue Sky only lets you put 4 in a post. So I'll have to ask her for that 5th cat. Because I'm worried if I move on to like, I'll circle back and do your other cat, that I'll forget to circle back. So I'm just going to knock all of hers out. Hello, Ariel. And then I want to do Simon and Jolene, who live with Flower. I've got a good picture I found of them sitting on the windowsill together doing a hedge watch. So I'm thinking of doing them looking at, like they're from behind looking out the window. I also want to do Evie from Scruff and his siblings. Alrighty. And then we can put this one away. This one came from here. All right, we need to do the inside of her ears. And the inside of her ears are kind of tannish. So we're going to go with this one for the inside of her ears. And then here is white. So we're going to leave it like that. I do have a very, very faint light gray we'll use for the shading on the white and to add the whisker spots. And I might actually use this one for the whisker spots. Like that. There we go. Since that's just a shade darker than what I have there. And then we'll add striping. And I haven't done the tail yet because the tail, what I can see, is black, like the striping. And I might, no, her stripes are black. Some of them are dark brown though, so I might get a cinnamon out. Sometimes I see a spot on the paper and I'm like, is that actually on the paper or is it from a crack on my screen? Sometimes I'll go to brush something away and be like, why is that thing not? Oh, it's on my screen. Not on the paper. Oh, Kated's back. Hi, Kated. Hello, little lady. She's like, is it dinner time yet? You have 17 minutes, missus. right, she says. She's just going to make circles. Oh, she's thinking she might jump back up here. She's thinking about it. Echo's probably in his cat tree, moping because he never got to go outside. And it was nice and cool this morning. It was in the 60s, so it would have been perfect for him to do an outside time this morning. But I'm so glad I checked the weather quality before I opened the door. Echo's probably on his cat tree. He's either on the cat tree or he's back on my bed. Because I don't see him on the couch. I can see the couch from here, and I don't see him on the couch. Cicada's here. Inspecting my work. Don't push those pens off the table. Thank you. You gonna step on Esther? No? Okay. Thank you for not stepping on Esther. Okay. There we go. All right, now I need like the cinnamon here. Let's test it real quick to make sure it's the right one that I want. Yes. Because some of her striping is... Oh, there she goes. She's jumped. I added an extra bell to hers, so she has a different bell pitch than Echo. So, Katie's name when I first met her was Katie, because she was owned by the lady whose house I go to for a Bible study. And she named her Katie. Her humane society name was Tilly. She's not a Tilly. And at the time, I was reading a book series called the Magical Cat series, where this lady comes into town because she's going to help with the renovation of a old Carnegie library. So she's going to be a head librarian during the renovations. And she goes to this old, like, abandoned house in town. She's like, why? Like, this place is spooky. And there's a bunch of cats that live there. And two of them decide they're going to come home with her. And I don't remember the name of her cats. But the librarian's name was Kathleen. And I was listening to the audiobook version. So whenever the mom would call, she'd go, hey, Katie, how's the library going? And so whenever I went over to Pam's house, I'd be like, hey, Katie, how's your library going? And Katie would chirp and come racing up to me, and Pam would be like, she doesn't come out at all when anybody else calls her. I'm like, that's because her name's actually Katie, and you just didn't know that? And I would tease her, and I would be like, I'm going to take your cat home one day. I'm going to put her in my bag. I'm going to steal her. I'm going to put her in my bag with my yarn. She's going to be my cat. She's like, no, you can't have my cat. But then she got a rag doll, because that was like her dream cat, was a rag doll. And then Katie was deemed violent. And so she was just going to rehome her, put her back in the Humane Society or the shelter, and be like, I can't. Her husband also was like, we can't have 3 cats. 3 is too much. One of them's got to go. And Katie was always annoying him because she does get underfoot. I will admit that. Because she can't see you, so she doesn't realize as she's making circles that she's getting under your feet. She just doesn't. And it just drove him nuts. And so Katie was the one who got the short straw. And Bogart and Sammy had recently passed. And no, it's not silent. It's Katie did. I guess when I say it fast, it sounds like Katie did. Yeah, the T doesn't. The T isn't as enunciated, I guess, but the T is gently pronounced in her name. Katie did. I guess it sounds more like K-D did, but it's pronounced. And then I found out later that that's actually a bug, which I guess that makes sense why that mom would name her daughter, like her nickname's a bug. Kind of cute. But she's not named after a bug. She's named after a book character. So her middle name's actually Kathleen. She's Katie Kathleen. That's why when we did the photo shoot that she won in that contest, I actually have one of the physical books from that series, the latest one, because it hadn't been made into a audiobook yet. And I was like, I pre-ordered it. I had to know what was happening next in the series. I should see if she has another one coming out soon. And so I took that book with us. And she actually did a photo session with the book with like a Victorian ruffle collar. It's so cute. And her crinkle baby was sitting on the book. And I can't wait to get a copy of that one. I'm going to call the photography place tomorrow and find out the status of all of that because she was so cute. Echo was not into the whole photo shoot thing at all. He's like, Mother, this is embarrassing. A typical teenager. But it's I guess more like a middle school level book. I mean maybe my 5th graders could read it. My 5th graders could probably handle it. I mean there is some romantic, not like sex scenes, but the Kathleen does end up falling in love and I think they get married. That or he's proposed, or I'd have to check, to the lead detective, because there's a lot of murders that happen that she ends up solving. Oh, and then her cats. It's called Magical Cat Series. One of her cats, I don't think he's actually orange, but I envision him as orange. He can turn invisible. And I think he's a brown tabby, they describe him as, but I envision him as orange. He can turn invisible. And then the other cat is a black and white tuxedo cat, and he can walk through walls. And it takes her a while to, like, realize her cats have these abilities. And they kind of inadvertently help her solve the murder mysteries. And then I think another cat eventually ends up getting adopted that has an interesting power. I think the detective ends up adopting it at his place. So, yeah, they're not married yet. I think they're just maybe engaged. It's by Sophie Kelly. Hold on, let me grab... If you guys want, it's Sofie, not Sophia, but Sophie Kelly. That's the author. And I think there's 17 books, 15 books. It's a good series. And they're quick reads. I'd say like 6 hours max for the audiobook. Okay, put this cinnamon back. And now we're going to get... that, and that's 35. Whereas, I already got 25 out. I'm so glad I checked that. That's a bit grayish. Yeah, my parents had a tuxedo for, I'm not sure how many years. I think he made it to 16. But he was a Manx, and eventually it was his back legs that gave out on him. He couldn't walk. He was in a lot of pain. His back legs are what gave out on him. So they had quality of life, they had to let him go. His name was Texa, Texa, because he was found in Texas. And my dad at that time lived in Abilene. So he had a girl cat named Abby for Abilene. And then he worked with a lot of Hispanic people. And they would always pronounce it Texa for Texas, I guess. So he had Abilene, Texas for his cats. We ended up losing Abby. She disappeared on us one day. A smattering of black here between these stripes. Not up there, though. And then a little bit here. And then down here. On her leg. Mookie. I feel like was Mookie, I drew your Mookie, didn't I? Wasn't it Mookie? You were the one who asked me to draw Mookie? That name sounds really familiar. Like, I swear I've drawn a Mookie. There we go. Okay, now we just need to do the shading on the white parts of her muzzle. So I need 95. 95 is the, yes. Yeah, I was going to say Mookie. I recognize that name. Right there. A little bit down here on this chin here. Excuse me. Sorry. Kind of goes like that. Like that. There we go. All right. Now we get to work on, we're going to do this green. And we're going to do, let's see, is this the purple we liked? Yes. Okay, frog. Let me look up a frog real quick. A cartoon frog. I've never actually done a frog with pointillism. I've sketched a frog before for my students, like, how do you draw a frog? So we'll Google it and Cartoon frog, just so I can see like the anatomy. This will be year 11 for me. Like that. Okay. I mean, yeah, I do plan on teaching for like another 20 years, I'm hoping. Health providing. Okay, I think that's a cute little frog. I'm not going to add too many details. I'm just going to make it a frog-ish shape. What are you doing? Oh, okay, she was looking at my yarn. I heard her tag hitting my glass over there. I mean, she was by my yarn basket. Your tag ratted you out. Leave that alone. She's looking for a plastic bag because I had the plastic bag out earlier for the catnip things. And her new favorite thing is to pick up the bag and carry it around and torture it. And maybe we'll put like a frog here, like it's disappearing off the edge. Like that. Maybe we'll make it so like it looks like the bottom of the frog here. Okay, what do you guys think of that? And then, that purple back, I'm going to take this green. I know she liked the dark green for the background with Scott, but I feel like a dark green with the dark purple would be too much darkness for her bandana. So I want to use a bright green with the dark purple. And then I'll have to figure out what to do for the floor here because I don't want to do anything tannish or brownish that will clash with her fur. I also still need to do her bell. Let me test this for the bell. Oh, I like this for her bell. That, and I think this is just a titch darker, yeah? Yeah. So let's get back to her picture real quick because I do want to finish her bell. Where did her picture go? Oh, there it is. It's on top of echo on my screen, so I couldn't see it because of echo. Okay. Put that back. Completely the wrong spot. And then there's a shadow right here. Like that. Perfect. Just the tiniest bit of shadow to make it 3D-ness. Okay. And then I'll work on this for another 3 minutes to do the bandana. In the morning. Shoo, fly. I don't know why there's a fly in here. I didn't even open the catio at all. Where have you been lurking all day? But in the morning, I'll figure out what to do with. And I might contact her, too, to inquire about. Now it's kind of making it look bluish. I don't know, it looks bluish to me. Does it look bluish to you, those frogs? So maybe I'll do a different purple for the floor. And then maybe do a light purple for the wall, because that will accent the frogs. Yeah, we'll do those. I'll leave those out. I had a little basket. Here they are. I'll put them in this little basket I got. Hopefully Katie doesn't think it's a new toy thing to take them out of the basket and drop them all over the kitchen floor. She goes through fits where anything pen-like is not allowed on the table. She doesn't care where they are in the apartment. Once she drops them on the floor, she completely ignores them. But she'll pick them up and pick up, drop, pick up, drop, pick up, drop until it falls on the floor. And then she just sits there like staring, wiggling her ears as she listens to see if anything else will happen after it plunks to the floor. And then nothing happens, so she searches for another thing to make plunk on the floor. That, and she's obsessed with this guy. It's supposed to have my phone sit on it. But because it's squishy like a stress ball, she thinks he is for her, and he's not. He is for my phone. So we've been having disagreements about who owns Mr. Yellow. Alrighty, and then I might get just one shade darker of the green real quick, because it's actually one of my grass greens, so I do have the next shade right here. And do like the seam around the edge. There. Yeah, and I think he's got some chew marks. You can see where her teeth have got, she can sink her teeth into him, and then he's light enough that she can pick him up and carry him around. So I'll find him in random places. All right, so this is where we're going to stop with Esther. She is done. I will do the background with these in the morning, and then tomorrow I will do another one of her cats. But I've got to go give Kate her medication and dinner, and I will see you all tomorrow with a new cat. Have a fabulous day or night, whatever it is for you. Stay safe. Be happy. Goodbye.